in our coverage. Right now, let's get to the Vice President, J.D. Vance, and that appearance that he's making in the state of Georgia today. He's out there trying to sell the one big, beautiful bill, maybe help the Republicans take back a Senate seat as well. Tommy Aiello joins us on this, Senior Director of Government Affairs, the National Taxpayers Union. Good to see you, Tommy. I said at the top of the hour, it sounds like they're trying to rebrand this instead of over and over saying, oh, one big, beautiful bill, really focusing on what the administration sees as the benefits, especially when it comes to taxes. What do you make of that?
Hey, good afternoon. Thanks for having me. I think it's so exciting that the Vice President is getting out of the Beltway to talk about the one big, beautiful bill. And there's a lot of great things to talk about it, right? You get $3,500 in tax relief for the average American family, program integrity for things like Medicaid and food assistance, and then a repeal of a number of expensive and costly green energy tax credits. So all in all, it's a really good thing to sell, and hopefully that the polling in the tax bill will start to pick up, because as more Americans hear about it, I think they'll like it.
Yeah, to your point about polling on the tablet, I have some views on the recent Trump policies, which would incorporate this, because this is a signature legislative accomplishment. Tariffs approval 38%. And then when you go to the bill itself, which we have listed here, approval is only 32%, Tommy. So the Vice President trying to push back on some of the narratives, including the numbers put out by the likes of the Congressional Budget Office. Here's what Vance said about CBO today.
Well, the Congressional Budget Office, sometimes they put out reports that are absolutely atrocious, and I think this is a good example of a very atrocious report. The most important thing for people who are living at the bottom of the income ladder is that they not pay taxes on their income sources.
Okay, so would you make a case for it based on that? And if so, how does that case sound today?
Yeah, the CBO is constantly wrong. Every time we do a tax bill and we try and return money to taxpayers, they always score it incorrectly. Now, some of the other data that we look at, like I said, $3,500 back in the pockets of taxpayers, plus many of the pro-growth tax provisions that'll benefit businesses, small businesses in particular. We're expecting about 1 million jobs to be created from this, quite a boost to GDP. So I think with all of these things taken together, the more the American people hear about this, the more that they'll like it.
Not showing up yet. And I think, to me, part of it is because those benefits don't show up for a while, right? You're saying more they hear about it, but sometimes it's until you feel it. And with tax provisions, it takes a little bit of time to work through, versus now the opponents can come out and hit on the things which they see as negatives, cuts to Medicaid, for example.
Yeah, and when we look at the tax provisions, right, increase to the standard deduction, making sure there's no tax increase at the end of the year by the rising of the tax rates, plus an enhancement to the child tax credit and a number of the other no tax on tips, Social Security, overtime. I think once that starts to show up when people file their taxes, plus the GDP growth, I think people will really feel the benefits of it. And that extra money will really help them combat some of the other price increases that we're seeing in places like the grocery store and across the country.
All right, Tommy, thank you. Tommy Aiello is on that, on the tax side of it at least. Take from Georgia now. Georgia